Hello, welcome back to Atlas Within. I'm Andres. Today we are doing a check-in. It is day 52, currently the 17th of July 2026. So past the halfway point. Obviously I did the last check-in last week. Progress was minimal. And today, okay, being honest, I did a weigh-in in the afternoon to almost evening time because I actually forgot to do it early morning. I thought I would do it anyway for the purpose of obviously this video and to gauge to see, even though obviously it's not a fasted weigh-in, gauge roughly speaking where my weight is. Now according to the scale I'm at 87.5. Yep, which means I've gone up from 87.1, that's 400 grams more. Even if I did a fasted weigh-in, 400 grams, I don't think that will be the difference. So tomorrow I will weigh myself to see what my actual fasted weight would be or is right now. But I don't expect it to be a massive difference like 1 kilo, for example. So what does that mean in terms of my progress? Well, unfortunately it means that I'm going in the wrong direction or stagnated completely. It's very strange because I thought this week was actually pretty good in terms of my eating. According to the body fat scale, funny enough, I have gained 300 grams of muscle. So that counts for 300 grams. There's 100 grams in there that I'm not entirely sure what it is. It might be water weight. It might be... I'm not sure, to be honest. What I can think of is water weight and something else shifting. Unfortunately, the body fat scale doesn't really tell me what is going on besides the additional muscle gained. The body fat total apparently has gone up by 0.1%, but then when I go to the subcutaneous fat, that's remained the same. So that's just basically the fat around your belly, around your legs, arms, all that stuff that you can see. And then the visceral fat, which is the fat around your organs, not as good. I'm not sure if you know about visceral fat, but yeah, you don't want to have that high. That's remained the same for me. So yeah, all in all, not entirely sure what's going on right now. Because as I mentioned, so speaking of nutrition, I felt the week was actually pretty good. I didn't really indulge in many or any treats, very little. I've actually had, dinner-wise, it's been a lot of eggs. I've had a craving for eggs with spring onions, tomato and rice. It's something that I used to eat when I was younger. I've got a craving for it now, and we just happen to have quite a few eggs, a surplus of eggs at home. So we started making that for dinner the last like 3 or 4 days. I really like it. It's very fulfilling. It doesn't leave you overly full, overly bloated. So for workouts, it's actually been fantastic because when I get to the workout, I feel just fine. Overall, I thought my diet was pretty good, or my eating was pretty good. But in terms of the scale, well, the only logical thing is that I've been eating more calories because, as I say, to gain weight, you have to eat more calories, and I've gained weight, so I must have been eating more calories. Logic depicts that's the correlation. Without me doing proper tracking, proper checking every single day of what I'm eating, I don't really have any thorough way to confirm that is exactly what's going on, but logically speaking, that must be what's going on. So I'm not in a calorie deficit, but I've gained some muscle. I guess I can't complain about that. The only downside is it's obviously, like I said, going in the wrong direction. I'm not losing weight, I'm gaining weight. It's making that goal ever so slightly more further away than I would like it to be in terms of achieving it by the time I get to day 90. So like I said, day 52, less than 40 days to go. It feels like I'm backtracking, so not ideal. I'll have to monitor it, see how it's going, because the other measurement I've been taking, as I mentioned, is my waist circumference, and my last measurement gave me 102.8 centimeters around the waist. I did a measurement this afternoon/evening when I weighed myself, so bearing in mind that's not fasted weighing. I will do a proper one tomorrow morning, which I'll probably actually add to this video so it's a bit more precise as to what my measurements are. I'm at 102.1. That's 0.7 centimeters less of my waist. So, even though my body fat percentage hasn't shifted according to the weighing scale, I've lost something off my midsection, which is fantastic news. That's brilliant. I mean, if I'm gaining muscle and I'm visibly losing fat, I'm going the right direction. So very odd time I'm right now. So I'm not just stagnating, I'm increasing in weight. I'm hoping that in a week's time I will begin to lose weight again, but for now the metrics are not the best. But it's okay, it's all right. It is what it is. Just have to tweak them as I go along, maybe a bit more mindful of what I'm eating. Maybe I have consumed things that I've not accounted for properly, or maybe there are things that are just adding to this and I'm not taking them into consideration. I'm not sure. We'll see. That's nutrition and the metrics. In terms of my actual workouts, so cardio first. My last check-in had me at 25 minutes 36 seconds for the 5k run. I've managed to do a sub 25 minutes at 24 minutes 51 seconds 5k run. That's doing the interval style running. So I do 8 kilometers per hour for about 2 minutes, shift into high gear, which is now at 13 kilometers per hour, and then I keep shifting between those two. I'll put it on the video exactly how my split worked out this session, or the last session. But yeah, making improvements, knocked off about 30, no more than 30 seconds, about 40 seconds off my time, which is still pretty good. It was challenging though, I will caveat that it was not the easiest. It was achievable, but the level of effort to get there is definitely noticeable. So obviously the lower I go in terms of how fast I can do the 5k run, the harder it's going to feel. But capacity wise, in terms of what my body is capable of doing, it's definitely improving. It's definitely getting to a pretty good level for my current status. So happy about that. The second cardio session I did this week was the zone 2 training. So I'm doing basically 5k session and then a zone 2 training session. That was pretty good. I actually did a 4.91 kilometer run in half an hour, which was a combination of 10.5 kilometers per hour run mixed in with 8 kilometers per hour brisk walk. And once again, this is to keep my heart rate between 130 beats per minute to 144 beats per minute. The great thing that I noticed while I was doing this session was I was able to do 10.5 kilometer run for longer without peaking my heart rate, which means that obviously I'm becoming more efficient, the body's pumping blood around, utilizing oxygen a lot better. My legs feel fine. They do feel a bit tired, but they feel fine. I don't feel like I'm going to collapse. I am capable of doing or sustaining that intensity, which is fantastic. And another thing that I noticed was, and this is something I've been doing after every session of cardio, is I do a 5-minute cool down. Within the 5-minute cool down, I look at my heart rate to just judge, intensity, just to bring down the level, bring it down so I can bring my heart rate down. The drop in beats per minute once I enter the cool down session, so the 5 minutes, is very rapid and it's dropping a lot faster. And today, which was actually the second session for the zone 2 cardio, I managed to drop down from 130 beats to 144 beats per minute to sub 100. So I think at the lowest I got was 98 beats per minute. in the last like minute of my cool down. So that is, yeah, very nice to see, honestly. Get very motivating, because once again, it's an indicator that internally my body is getting a lot better at doing exercises, especially running. It's fantastic. Once again, like obviously maybe it's not reflecting in my body currently in terms of body fat, in terms of these metrics I've been taking, but honestly my health is getting better. And you know, without losing complete sight of my goal, which is the loss of 8 to 9 kilos by the end of these 90 days, you know, while still having that as a ultimate goal for these 90 days, I have to appreciate that along the journey I am improving. Like, I am way better, in a much better position than I was when I first started on day one. Like, I am substantially more fitter, stronger, more capable, and that is exactly what I want to do. That's what I want to achieve. As I said, I'm a new father. I want to be in the healthiest possible position, so I can just have longevity, so I can be, you know, good to go when he's, you know, up and running and full of energy, just be able to keep up with him. So yeah, this is pretty good. I'm very pleased from that perspective. In terms of the resistance training, I did one more session, or I did actually 2 sessions since I last checked in, of the same routine, but I did increase the push-ups to 16. That's pretty good. 16 push-ups for 4 sessions. I increased the sit-ups to 18, so that's a 1 increase. And then the bicep tricep exercises, I increased both of those to 16 as well. So all in all, a 1 rep additional for those 4 exercises, but over 4 rounds it makes a difference. And honestly speaking, the 4th round, which has been the most challenging round, actually okay. Still challenging, so I still might have to break that round up in terms of the exercises, but it's very much doable. I don't think I take nearly as long, considering I've increased the reps. So yeah, I think I've done my last session on that particular workout. I think I'm good to now shift to another workout. I'm probably just going to change maybe 2 or 3 exercises. If that, I might just add them. I might create a slightly different way of doing this. So this is currently a giant set followed by a superset. I might just break it all into supersets and do it that way. I've got to decide how to do it, because I'm due to do a workout probably on Sunday. So not tomorrow. Tomorrow will be Saturday. So Sunday. So I'll probably think about it tomorrow. How do I want to do it? And then on Sunday, give that a go. And then obviously I will let you know how it goes and what that routine looks like. In terms of metrics, in terms of my goal of losing weight, I'm backtracking. It's almost like 1 step forward, 2 steps back at this point. But that's high level. That's just the numbers. If I look at, like I said, my performance when it comes to working out, my endurance capabilities, the actual measurement, for example, of my waist, my muscle gain, that's actually very positive. And it's an interesting thing to think about, because whilst that wasn't, you know, the top of my list in terms of the ultimate goal being the drop in weight, it's definitely it's definitely a second layer of goals or goal that I didn't foresee I would be at this level when I started it. So it's an odd feeling. I'm positive in terms of this is great, but then borderline unsure as to how do I feel about the fact that I'm not losing the weight I wanted to lose, because to be honest, I do want to be lighter. I feel like I should be lighter. I think I am just a bit heavier for, you know, my height, my build and whatnot. So yeah, I'm not feeling. But overall, very optimistic. I think things are moving along. I'm hopeful that in a week's time I will see some weight loss, but we'll see. We'll see how things continue. I might have other findings to share with you, but for now, that is it. So keep at it. Yep. See how it evolves. See how the next week works out, and what the end results are when I do my next check-in. But yeah. All right. That is all for today. Thanks again for tuning in to see how things are going. Like I said, a bit of an odd situation I'm currently in, but yeah, we'll work with it and see how it all wraps up.
Please unlock the device to continue.
Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully catch you on the next one. Bye.